Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto, and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter, or X, I should say. Now, we are joined by 10th Man, Refracted Curvature, Original D-Rose, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Good morning, good morning.
Lit? No hello from Discord?
Good afternoon, guys.
Oh, 10th,
Oh, well, there we go.
10th said he went to go get some drink.
Very good, very
10th went to
good.
get some shit.
At least got a
Good
hello.
morning, good morning.
Better late than never, Mighty Mush. Thank you for saying hello. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
What's gravity?
Claim that all things go in a downward bias?
No. Clouds.
No? Any single
the cloud.
viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Not science.
You mean from those pseudoscience categories?
Yes, the pseudosciences.
Apparently not, because they have no validity to their claims. You know? It's just rhetoric.
What would give them validity?
Philosophical, conceptual, conjectural. See it, and I believe it.
Okay, who can answer me this? Why would we ask for 4 straight years now for scientific evidence? Why would we ask for any single viable hypothesis from any field of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics? Why would we ask for a hypothesis / scientific evidence?
They're claimed to be natural science.
Because they claim to be natural science. Okay, very good answer. Didn't think we'd get that quickly. What is natural science?
Don't make me answer this one too, guys.
Pardon me, I'm driving. That's why I'm sorry.
Study of the physical and natural world. That's what we're dealing with. The subject matter of flat Earth. Yeah? If you try and prove that we're on a flat plane, it is excluded from scientific inquiry. Anybody tell me why?
There is no cause and effect relationship.
Perfect. Man, we're getting through these real quick. I didn't expect this. Bringing a big smile to my face there, Jorge. Okay. Because it's not a cause and effect relationship. It's a concrete noun. So what is within the purview of the scientific method?
The empirical method.
Yeah, what's
observable?
Maybe it's the word purview.
Observable.
What is the
repeatable?
What would we
testable,
utilize the
falsifiable,
scientific method for?
to validate cause and effect?
Perfect. He's answered. He's got there. He's got there. He's got there first. He's got there. Hello. Say that again, please, Jorge.
To establish a cause and effect relationship.
To elucidate the cause of an effect. Okay. That process, the elucidation of the cause of an effect in the physical and natural world, that would be a natural phenomena. So, science is the elucidation of the cause of naturally occurring phenomena. Flat Earth is not a phenomena. Globe Earth is not a phenomena. Tree is not a phenomena. A phenomena is something happening, an occurrence, something that you can see occur and go, I wonder what caused that. That's where science comes in. Okay, so with all that being said, the next statement will offend some people. Science is very, very narrow. That is to say, there are a finite amount of things that you can actually put through the scientific method itself. Because very often, concrete nouns, man-made objects, cannot be put through a method that is trying to elucidate the cause of natural phenomena. Because if it's not a phenomena, you're not going to be elucidating the cause of it, because it's not a phenomena to elucidate the cause of. And if it's man-made, you already know the cause of it. A man made it. So all you can put through the scientific method is naturally occurring phenomena, so that you can find out the cause of it. Any questions? No? Fair enough.
Hello.
Hello, Armin. Today, we're going to be doing another Mitchell from Australia video. So big shout out to you. Going to share your link in the live stream chat. Go and let Mitchell know with the most positive intonation in your chat that you can provide him with that at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. So just let him know that we have been reviewing his video. You can probably see the live stream chat link to Mitch's video going by now. But just leave him a couple of kind words. Help him in the algorithm. We help enough ballers in the algorithm. It's nice to do it for one of our own for a change. So yeah, let Mitch know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Give him a like. But we've been covering a bit of this in the pre-show. And yeah, check that out if you're a member after the recording ends later on today. Or if you're not a member, check it out in 2 or 3 days' time on my second channel. There is a link to that as well. So if you don't want to spend the money being a member, which is perfectly reasonable, there is no intention to paywall the information away from everybody. Although I do want money. Please smash the super chat. The intention is actually to get you to potentially subscribe to my second channel and get the same exact information 2 or 3 days later. So, you know, it's not being held back from you, but it does assist me if obviously you become a member, and then you do get the added bonus of getting the information 2 or 3 days earlier. So check that out. Where we will continue from was discussed in the pre-show. If you remember, you get to catch that. I'll just let Adam in, and then we'll continue with Phil Bell and Mitch. Hey, Adam.
Afternoon, guys.
Hello.
No, you are. You're interested in assigning a physical
Now, I've got another one, Mitchell, because we're not really getting anywhere. So,
no, we're definitely not. And you,
Now, Phil is not getting anywhere, but Mitch is holding you to task on your crappy straw men. So you're not getting anywhere. But, you know, in terms of the flat earth evidence that was put on the table, the only time the conclusion came for a flat earth being concluded, you talk through it. So when you say we aren't getting anywhere, Mitch was, but you talked through him when he concluded that Earth must be flat for these triangles that are on screen that you added to with your diagram, Phil. This one that's yours that needs a flat Earth. Your diagram, Phil.
and you're talking over the top of me. So that's strike. I believe that's strike 3, but I'll let you keep going. Well, what else are we going to straw man with?
Love to have 3 strikes. Okay.
Phil, you're wasting our time again. Can you put something up on screen that is actual physical, tangible evidence to where we're actually? Before we do that,
I want to go over something that Sean said before.
I know you'd like to, but I'm going to go into your claim of how we know the Earth is a globe, because that was your claim. We went through my claim that wasn't a claim. We went through your little image. How do we know Earth is a globe? What's your number one globe proof, Professor Phil Bell?
Plenty of them.
Just one will do.
I don't even like to put them in order, but because
that's all right.
So
just one will do. Just pick one at random.
Okay, just a minute, would you? All right.
Are you serious? You've got plenty of them. Just pick one. You've got 5 seconds. Pick one evidence. We'll just talk about it. One evidence. If we don't have any globe proof, you're no use.
Well, for instance, a boat going over the horizon is pretty.
I can't believe that worked. Give him 5 seconds to do it. I mean, that might work on my 7-year-old, just starting to not work. Bloody hell, it worked on Phil. I can't quite believe it. You've got 5 seconds. Give me your best globe proof. A boat's going over the horizon. Man.
Pretty telling, isn't it?
Well, it was preempted by Mitch, this whole stream, by Mitch saying, yeah, we're totally in control of all of this. We're leading them on the dance now. Yeah, never a true word. But you got 5 seconds, Phil. Give me your best globe proof. Just get on with it. I love the attitude. I really love it. Right, shout out to Sensible Goat, who says, we are listening to 2 Australians. Do you prefer Neighbours or Home and Away? It's a tough call. I don't know. I went off Home and Away when they changed... what was the name of the mom in Home and Away, hun? Pippa. When they changed Pippa. So you come back to the show and Pippa's no longer blonde. She's a bit more chunky. She's got long brown hair and she's a totally different person. But they're all calling her Pippa. And you're like, I thought they adopted children, not new mothers with the same name. But there we go. I mean, that was Home and Away for you. Neighbours, on the other hand, had Kylie, it had Jason, it had the Lassiter Centre. I mean, it had everything. Neighbours is far superior. Thank you for the super chat.
Good evidence.
Awesome. Black Swan. Debunked it. Do we have a physical...
No, you didn't. What?
How many words did he get out? Black Swan. It debunks it. Immediate interruption from Phil. Yeah, Phil. Yeah, we're not getting anywhere here because I'm not going to allow it to. For you. I'm going to make sure that I get 5 attempts at a straw man that I've already had pointed out that I'm not representing a claim you've made. But there we go. 5 attempts, few straw men, few ad homs in between, lots of logical fallacies, a few lies about images he's created. Lies about claims he's not making when he said the distance to the sun. That was debunked. But according to Phil, we're not getting anywhere here.
How did you debunk it?
Black Swan, he just said.
The distance to the horizon on a sphere of radius 3959 miles can be no more than 1.22 times the square root of the observer's 1 feet. We see in the Black Swan footage and image from a 1 foot observer height, a 10-mile distance to the horizon, in excess of 10 miles. What is that radius to that Earth from a 1 foot observer height, 10-mile distance to the horizon? 264,000 miles. We do not have a physical Earth curvature at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's 1 feet, Professor Phil Bell. It has been absolutely debunked that we have a geometric horizon.
Well, I'm afraid you're wrong, Mitchell.
I know you're afraid, Professor Phil Bell, but tell us how we're wrong.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
You've still got the image of the ship up.
Oh, okay. All right. Looks like I have to undo that first. So
You better give us something quick. Brian's logic gives me £4.99 to say, will 2 45-degree angles and 2 46-degree angles give you the same sun height? Radar uses the speed of light. One-way speed of light doesn't exist. Yeah, we don't probably need to go back into that.
You may not want to, Mitch, but I'm going to. So what Brian's super chat was pointing out, excellent super chat, by the way. He knows how to spend his money, tight sod. Excellent use of your money, Brian. Anyway, that's not true at all. I have no idea if Brian's tight or not. It's a racial insinuation by stereotype that he's tight. He's probably not. Anyway, my point is definitely not. He's just giving Mitch money. Anyway, that aside, what he's asking is, if I observe the sun and it's, say, 40, what did he say, 45 and 46, and it's 46 degrees above the horizon with a sextant measurement, right? He even threw in another person that's also coincidentally measuring the exact same sun at the exact same time from coincidentally a similar distance away from it and also getting the exact same angle. Okay, so there's 2 people in Brian's example. They're both measuring the height of the angle in this instance. I won't go back to the Smithsonian reference. But nevertheless, he's saying, okay, you wait a little time and then you measure it again. And what do you know? It's not 46 degrees, it's 45 degrees now, right? In other words, the angle has reduced. And he's saying to Phil, given your straw man stupid nonsense about how this diagram would give you the height of the sun, does the height of the sun change over that period when you're measuring one time at 45 degrees and the other at 46? Does that mean it's lowered? Will it, by extension of Brian's super chat, eventually smash into the horizon, destroying life as we know it? because it's getting lower and lower and lower. Yeah, the apparent height, as pointed out to you about 6 times by Mitchell, is lowering towards the horizon. Obviously, we're using that fact for celestial navigation on a flat plane. However, that would mean that we could no way infer the height of it, because it doesn't collide with the horizon, does it? The sun's not smashing into the horizon ever, right? But its apparent position does eventually meet the horizon. So what? We can't get a height. The height isn't 0 at the horizon either, you utter clown. But your little straw man that Phil said Mitch was claiming didn't ever get debunked either, because he didn't get to make this straw man claim in its entirety, even though he had 5 attempts, and lies about him not making a claim, only to declare at the end, by way of baseless assertion, that the sun was 96 million miles away. Now, that baseless assertion, in spite of having no evidence to back from Phil, was still addressed by Mitch when he definitely achieved something, even though Phil thinks we're getting nowhere, by summarising the Kepler and Huygens assumptions to give him those distances. So Mitch has definitely made huge leaps and strides in terms of disseminating the bullshit nonsense of heliocentrism to his audience. Phil, on the other hand, has got nowhere, but thinks that there's a royal we in him failing when he says we're not getting anywhere here.
But thank you, Brian's logic there. That is a great point. One-way speed of light does not exist.
Is this the image that you're talking about? Your black swan image?
No, that's not the black swan image. That's a white swan image. That's something that appears to be showing a physical obstruction.
Actually, that's a black swan as well. Maybe you didn't know, Mitch. That's also a black swan. Maybe you didn't know. Yeah, the horizon would have to be at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height feet. That would mean that the hill that is claimed to be Earth curve would be massively in the foreground. It isn't. This is also a black swan.
I don't know. I would still object, even if you could show the horizon at 1.22 times the observer's height in feet away, because it's not below sea level.
Boom. Absolutely
never
correct. That's a flat Earth assertion when they claim that there's a physical geometric sphere edge horizon marked with an X and labelled horizon below the differential calculation that is surface level and eye level in their Earth curve maths. So when they calculate the differential between surface level and eye level, they assert that there's a second horizon that appears below surface level at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's right, John. So they'll need a flat Earth for that assertion too. All roads lead to a flat Earth, ladies and gentlemen, including their assertions of physical geometry and Earth curve edges. They need a flat Earth to be asserted too.
Nathan, isn't that in respect to the horizon?
I have no respect for the horizon. It's owing me money for quite a significant period of time.
Go to Master B, please.
The Viking quote.
No, the last slide I just put there.
Very last one.
Let me see.
Okay,
if I
yeah, got it.
there. Yeah. All right. So forget the Dingleberry globe. Forget the atmosphere. Look at the eyeball on top of the supposed globe, and look at the horizon line. Horizontal, right? Now let's read. By the actual sunrise, we mean the actual crossing of the horizon by the sun. Figures show the actual apparent position of the sun with respect to the horizon. Refractive index of air with respect to free space. Oh, I thought it was Earth curve. No, it's free space. It's in the air. It's due to temperature. Due to this apparent shift in the direction of the sun is about half a degree, and the corresponding time difference between actual sunset and apparent sunset is 2 minutes. I thought it was Earth curving away.
No. Not anymore. That's why in the housekeeping it's formally known as Earth curve. The ballers may think they've got Earth curve. The anti-flat earthers who have it pointed out that there isn't tell us we wouldn't expect to see Earth curve. Nobody's expecting to see Earth curve. Who's claiming the horizon's Earth curve? Earth curve only exists in the maths. That's what we have been told as a result of pointing this out to them. That's where we're at.
But here it says refractive index of air with respect to free space. Prior to that, it's respect to the horizon. So it doesn't even their own stuff debunks them.
Right.
But the black swan image breaks that physical obstruction limit. So
why are they different?
why are they different? Because
Hmm.
of conditions of the day.
Well,
Why do you think they're different?
What's the conditions of the day cause them to be different?
Do you know what
I have
a
a quick
black
thought
swan
about that.
analogy is?
I certainly do, Mitchell.
So where eye level meets the sky is different from where eye level meets the sky on another day. How does that help you?
That the horizon is not Earth curve.
Yeah, it's eye level. You're still dealing with a flat plane. Whether you're seeing further on a flat plane one day and less far on a flat plane the other day, it's still not helping you assert the Earth's curving. So why bring it up?
Because he doesn't realise, like we do, that all roads lead to a flat Earth. He thinks that somehow will be used later on to infer sphericity.
But I want you to I want you to explain why the image that you call the black swan and this one are different, given they're taken from the same location at the same height above sea level.
The claim is that there is a physical.
Number one, Mitch did address you. So the conditions on the day have changed the view. You didn't address him at all, you repeated it.
Geometric obstruction. 1.22 times the square root.
Now, fortunately, he's smarter than I am, Mitch, that is, and he's ignored it entirely. Your repetition and ignorance of his response to your question was entirely ignored. He's just ignored your repetition of it and then reiterated the claim in which you responded to him about something non sequitur and then repeated it when he addressed it. So now he's back onto the claim again. Good on you, Mitch.
Of the observed swan feet in all instances. When we observe the black swan image, when we observe the other black swan images, other ones I'm going to bring up on screen in a second here, that absolutely debunks the notion that it is 1.22 times the square root of the observed swan feet. The black swan analogy is that the claim
I told
is.
you why it is. It's because of refraction, Mitchell.
Hang on.
So it's not Earth curve then. Okay. So the horizon is a refracted, non-geometric position, not a hill, not geometric in nature, not measurable as a hill that would block your view. Okay? So refracted isn't geometric Earth curve, Phil. Game over. So the horizon's not Earth curve. Okay? Yeah, we knew.
Sorry. Game over in the first instance as well. If it changes with the weather, and the black swan it could be no more than, based on their radius. I mean, that blows it away right there.
Right. Hills, physical hills that block things, don't move with the weather. If the horizon's claimed to be a hill that blocks boats and buildings, marked with an X, labelled horizon in the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, then that is where the hill will be. Always. Because it would be a physical hill in your way. It isn't. It moves with the weather. It's definitely not a physical sphere hill getting in your way, because it would just be in the way.
Yeah, but it still seems to block things bottom up, though. They love to pull that one back in. So it's like not a geometric bulge that sticks out obscuring things in the distance, but instead it will express itself by things being disappeared visually bottom up further into the distance.
Meanwhile, hills
Phil,
are always in the same physical location because they're hills.
Bill never claimed any of that. He claimed, why is sea level blocking it one day and one day it's not? His
Yeah, that's
quote,
true.
Phil.
Okay.
Hang on. The black swan analogy is all swans are white. It only takes one black swan to disprove that notion. So the claim on the table is that all horizons are physical. 1.22 times the square root of observer's height in feet. It only takes one observation, one black swan, to absolutely debunk that notion, Professor Phil Bell.
Why is this different from the...
You asked him that 3 times. Conditions on the day. He answered you. Then he's pointed out that your globe Earth horizon that physically block things because it's a hill is debunked. Why is this image different? So do you think it's going to change his answer? Well, the conditions were different on that day. Meanwhile, it doesn't matter what bloody conditions are. If there's a hill in my way, It's in the way if it's foggy, if it's clear, it doesn't matter what the bloody conditions are. The hill's always in the way. Now, if Earth was spherical and produced a hill tangent point in your way, it would always be in the way. It wouldn't change with the weather, Phil.
Wait, you
One they
never
put-
which is
experienced a
dumb.
weather front where you would actually be able to suddenly look behind a hill because there's like this refracting layer of the water or whatever?
No, Arwin. No, suddenly when it gets really foggy, like really, really unclear, and you, according to them, get the most refraction, you don't suddenly see the houses beyond the hill because it's really foggy and there's a lot of atmospheric refraction on that day.
But maybe as a mirage.
Did Phil claim an actual hill? Because I heard him say level.
I heard him say
I
level
never
2.
claimed that
You're never
hill.
going to be wrong about this, John. What Phil has actually claimed, both in phraseology and in literal terms, because the calculator is a differential calculator, is why does sea level block it differently on a different day? Why does the flat Earth block it differently, is what he's asking, in literal terms, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah. But is that a rebuttal?
No. Proving Earth's flat.
You call the black swan. You said the conditions. What about the conditions?
Hang on, I'll just pull up my black swan so we can compare
What about them? They're different. What more do you need?
it to what
His response was to say you only need one black swan. If the hill is in the way because it's a hill, it's always in the way. You only need to show once that it's not a hill in the way to stop it being a hill claimed to be in the way. Karl Popper's
Yes,
example with
Nathan.
you only need one black swan was his response. Now,
Yeah,
after
but
three attempts of you asking him and then finally acknowledging the first response he gave you. Yeah, so what, it needed repeating 3 times for then you to respond with his response that he already gave you? To keep the straw man going. That doesn't respond to the black swan claim that your horizon as Earth curve is debunked, and you now, in response to the 3rd attempt and total ignorance of the response, pointing out that you only need one. Doesn't need to be shown multiple times to not be a hill in the way. Once it's not a hill in the way, it's not, oh, well, it kind of looks like a hill again today. Yeah, so what? It's not a hill in the way.
Yeah, but Nathan, it's really important now that he heard about the black swan to point out that, well, why does the beak of this black swan look slightly more orangey than the other black swan, which is a little bit more yellow?
It's a total
Why is
nod,
that,
yes.
flat earther?
With the sarcastic tone in toe, that's a very good pointing out that it's a non sequitur fallacy. Yes, indeed, Darwin.
what we're actually share screen. Here we go. This is the more recent black swan, the updated black swan. I hope you have seen it by
Why are you
BMLSB69.
obfuscating on this one?
Because I'm showing you there's multiple.
Right, how is him saying the conditions were different on the day? However, my argument isn't that. My argument is that you only need one to show it's not in the hill in the way. Why is he... You somehow think that because he addressed you directly and you ignored it 3 times, then finally addressed his repeating of it's the conditions on the day, that you think he didn't address it. No, he did. Now he's moving on to a different one.
Black swans,
Nathan.
isn't there? There's
Can you look at my last slide and masturbate for just this topic?
Go ahead.
What's right there? The railroad tracks. One day you see all that, the next day fog, you don't see as far. Was that earth curve blocking it?
Sorry, no. The things that are beyond the railway tracks and beyond the hills are now in view on the right-hand side because of the super terrestrial, begging the question, sphere-shaped air. Super refraction on the right? No? Oh, my bad. So yeah, hills that get in the way don't change. That's the argument. In actuality, Phil, you haven't addressed that. He's addressed everything you've said. Yeah, what you've done is ignored him. And then said, we're not getting anywhere. No, he's getting plenty. You're ignoring him.
multiple images from multiple days, like you've just shown. So we'll put yours back on.
No, I wasn't finished. The thing is, conditions and weather doesn't change sea level.
No. That's why John
But it
piped
does.
up. Go on, John.
But it does change where it renders with the sky, or where it appears to meet the sky. The conditions on the day does change where sea level renders. Doesn't change sea level.
Correct. Correct.
So Phil Bell has conceded this argument and doesn't even know it.
on screen.
Yeah.
This is yours.
Mm-hmm.
This is the more recent one. Why are they always changing? Because of the conditions.
Yeah. What about the conditions, Mitchell?
So the conditions. So when there's less refraction, we can see further. Like we're seeing right now, we can see from 1 foot observer height, 31.82 miles.
Yeah, it's cornered you into making a claim you didn't need to make there, Mitch. It's the only mistake you've made so far, so we'll swiftly move on.
To Anacapa Rock. New
You can
radius
see
of
that
your...
it's refraction, can't you? You can actually see the evidence for the refraction in that photo, can't you?
Taken advantage of that mistake straight away, hasn't he there? Good on you, Phil. I'd have bitten on that too.
You can actually see the physical Earth curvature. Can you, Phil Bell? That is the question on the table.
But Mitchell, why would you pick something that's obviously so distorted?
Because it absolutely destroys the notion that you have
But
a
it doesn't,
physical
Mitchell.
Earth curvature.
Yeah, but
Mitchell,
but
all
the
it
pink
does
is all orange.
Yeah, but he needs the non sequitur, Arwin. Absolutely.
Point to the Earth curve. Phil Bell, point to the Earth curvature.
Yeah, he's right. Mitch is absolutely spot on. He said the argument on the table is about the leading edge of your sphere. That's the argument. Oh, why is it so distorted? Right, the argument's about the position of the horizon, though, isn't it? Your Earth curve edge. That's your primary claim being challenged head on. What about the bendy cranes? What about the orange sky? No. The horizon is the argument. The horizon's supposed to be at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet because you claim it's a hill getting in the way. Earth curve, you call it. It isn't. It's miles beyond where a hill would be getting in the way. What's that? The hill is getting in the way, but not where it would be on your image. Your black swan, Phil. Well, the horizon wasn't at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet in that image either. So what about the conditions? Yeah, it's changing where your hill is, Phil. That's the argument on the table. Mitch has just pointed that out to you and you just chatted and chanted through him.
Where is the horizon?
Go back to my
Straw man that hasn't got anything to do with this argument you're making.
the picture that I
Where is the horizon? Is that 1.22 times the square root of observer's height in feet, Phil Bell?
yes.
That is
Sorry, did you just say that the horizon in this black swan is at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet? Because that would put the horizon at 1.2 miles. No, Phil, the horizon's beyond 1.2 miles in this image. You're wrong. This is a black swan also. Further to that, I'm going to say all of them are black swans. Because we haven't got a geometric horizon below surface level.
It is. So why
Well,
are we not seeing that
it's got
here?
refraction
Why is
as
it
well.
been why has it been broken here? Why can we see further?
Refraction.
So it's not Earth curve then, Phil. You keep barking out this word refraction. So it's not that an Earth curve hill gets in the way of stuff. The conditions on the day change, like refraction, according to you two. Not that I'd be making this argument, but that's besides the point. So the conditions on the day, not Earth curve then.
Refraction. So the less refraction that we have is the more that we can see. So
But not whether or not we're higher or lower with respect to the hill of Earth curve getting in the way then. Just the conditions on the day then that you now want to argue. You now want to argue about the conditions on the day, don't you, Phil? The refraction, right? Not about the horizon, your Earth curve, your primary. You don't want to argue about that Earth curve horizon, do you? You want to argue about the conditions. So what, segue away from your primary claim that the horizon's a hill called Earth curve that isn't getting in the way? Shying away from that, it seems, Phil.
why can we see further with less refraction?
Okay, because that's got nothing to do with it. So what refraction does is lift something that's behind that you normally wouldn't see beyond the
An
horizon
object?
up.
An object?
An object.
Right, so refraction lifts things from beyond the horizon up. That's a begging the question fallacy. So you're saying that things are below a flat plane? That you were arguing about needing it and banking on it being flat? So what, now we've got things that are below that you banking on it being flat plane? No, things aren't below the horizon, Phil. Things don't dip below the flat
Nathan.
plane. It extends out for thousands of miles when you measure the GP of the stars that you were navigating earlier. And you made it explicitly clear, Phil, that you're banking on it being flat. So how could it possibly be the case that your assertion that things are below the horizon could ever be true? It can't, can it, Phil? Because when you're banking on Earth being flat, there's never a below the horizon. Because it's not a sphere Earth edge hill getting in the way, as shown in these images you're ignoring when you ask about the conditions. And refraction. not Earth curve, the primary claim that you should be defending, and is debunked by the Black Swan. Go on, whoever
Yeah,
wants.
but Nathan, the ironic thing is that when he says that, yeah, we know things are displaced in relation to the horizon because of refraction. However, that's not any issue. The issue is that the horizon itself is not in the geometrically correct position in relation to the globe Earth model. So he's basically strawmanning himself. It's
Yes.
like, terrestrial refraction is supposed to be the horizon itself that's displacing, which cannot happen with refraction, the real refraction. But so he got his own terrestrial refraction wrong.
Yeah.
Basically
You can't-
supporting the Black Swan.
Sure, he can only support it and make it seem like he's saying Mitch is wrong, because he can't now, after the Black Swan's been illustrated to the audience, and obviously to him in debate, that the horizon is Earth curve. He can never say that. That's why we've got a list of quotes from people like Tim Osman and Planner Walk and Rumpus, where they tell us explicitly that the horizon is not Earth curve, and we wouldn't be expecting to see it. Like, why the hell do you tell us boats are blocked by it then? Why'd you say that this building's got 5 feet missing because hill, Earth curve got in the way? Oh, it's because when we show that it isn't, and it's been moving with the weather the entire time, so can't possibly be a hill getting in the way, you tell us, oh, no, the hill is still getting in the way, but when it isn't, it's things being refracted up from beyond the hill. Oh, I see. So when you walk up to your local hill that's normally got things obscured by it, there are occasions when the things obscured by the hill are in front of the hill. Because of refraction. No, absolutely not. Physical hills don't behave that way. And that's what your Earth curve is. It's just debunked, so you can't take the positive claim anymore. Mitch has taken that away from you, because he's very much in control of this conversation. The one you have to keep straw manning him, lying about your claims, lying about your diagrams that you've made, affirming that you're banking on Earth being flat, all those things are the tactics of a baller that's losing.
Yep. And there's nowhere to go because you already said, yeah, things displace in relation to the horizon. Well, that's very cool, but that still means the horizon is not in the geometric correct place. So Black Swan still stands. It might have an orange beak, it might have a yellow beak, but it's still a Black Swan.
Absolutely. Before you got here, Arwin, he made a bold declaration when shown how celestial navigation requires 90 at the base of a star or sun that you're using to navigate with, that he's banking on Earth being flat. It's required to be flat. They need it to be flat to measure it flat. He made all those disclaimers.
Wow. Amazing.
Sure.
Relative to the horizon?
Anything.
So why can we see the horizon being moved relative to the horizon? That is non sequitur.
Why? Because the horizon, there's water at the...
Good point, Mitch. So Mitch is now saying, we've debunked the geometric horizon. Your response from Phil is that, well, the horizon that we see is refracted with respect to the geometric horizon that we don't see. So now he's got 2 horizons, and Mitch has caught it before I did. Well done, Mitch.
The horizon, it's an object.
So it is a physical object, the horizon.
Sure, you could send somebody...
No, you see, physical hills don't move, Phil. If a hill's in the way of something, like a harbour, you're climbing up a hill knowing that at the other side of it is a little lake and a harbour, and as you're climbing up the hill, you can't see the harbour. Yeah? Well, there's never going to be a time that you climb up that hill and suddenly the lake and the harbour are in front of the hill. That's never going to happen, Phil. But you're saying, yeah, the horizon's a physical Earth curve edge. We just don't get to see it. It's refracted. So definitely not the claim that it's blocking things with its physical nature, its physical Earth curve, bally nature, marked with an X and labelled horizon in your Earth curve maths. No, definitely not that, right, Phil? Yeah, we know.
Somebody out there.
If you're claiming refraction, we do not have a physical Earth curvature. Are we looking at the geometric horizon ever,
Why not?
Professor Phil Bell?
Why not?
Because refraction isn't a hill. Hill, getting in way, that's something physical. Refraction, that's not a hill getting in the way, Phil. Why not? Are you dumb? They are different things. You claiming Earth curves getting in the way at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, precisely as claimed in your Earth curve maths, is you claiming a physical hill gets in the way. You saying, oh no, we don't get to see the physical hill. In fact, we might see things that should be blocked by it, and we would have been claiming were blocked by it, but when they're not blocked by it, We're not seeing the hill. We're not seeing the effects of the hill. In fact, we're seeing mirages beyond the hill that we shouldn't see. Because of the hill. The hill's refracted up with refraction. Yeah, it's total nonsense as detailed by Mitch back to you. It's absurd.
You have just
Right,
said
the
refraction.
hill just flattens out, just like that.
Yep,
Like,
the hill
oh,
just
now the hill
disappears.
is flat. Oh, it's formed into a hill again.
Yeah, the hill that was blocking it, it's not a hill in it. It's not blocking it. It's just how it works in the world.
That means we are not looking at the physical Earth curve edge.
Mitchell, it's no different than
That's a yes, Phil. That's right. We're not looking at the physical Earth curve edge then, marked with an X, labelled horizon in your Earth curve maths below the surface level. No, we're not looking at that, are we, Phil? You're just a weasel and failed to concede. You know, earlier you said we're not getting anywhere. Mitch is getting plenty. It's just you're a weasel who can't concede when you're wrong. So when Mitch points it out to you, you don't concede, you move on immediately. So the horizon's not Earth curve, Phil. I'll reiterate it till I'm blue in the face, over the top of you ignoring it, and point out to my audience that Phil's a complete coward. That when the logical inference is drawn by Mitch, he ignores it because he's a coward. What he's got is to maybe assert that nothing's been done here.
and if you climbed up a hill, you would see further away.
But if you climbed up the hill, would the things behind the hill be in view? Because that's what you're saying is happening, Phil.
It's kind of the same thing.
Kind of, other than if you're climbing up a hill with a lake at the top of it, you're never going to have the lake between you and the hill you're climbing up. It can't happen, Phil. But that's what you're saying's happening. The Earth Curve Hill that blocked boats and buildings back in 2014, 15, 16, 17. It's just moving with the weather. It's not actually an Earth Curve edge, and when it's pointed out to you that it's not Earth Curve, you just stutter and stammer your way around to a different subject.
Are we still looking at the physical geometric horizon when we climb up a hill?
It's water, isn't it? It's coming back. How do you think you...
Is that stuttering bitch Phil Bell not answering the question? No, it isn't, Phil. If it was, it would be marked with an X and at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, as your maths says it will be. It's marked with horizon in your maths. But we've got two, have we, Phil? The refracted horizon that we're seeing that's not Earth curve, that you just can't concede to because you're a coward. And the other one, the geometrical one, the one we can't see that's Earth curve that used to block things because it's a hill that we're not seeing and things that should be blocked by it are beyond it.
See things, Mitchell.
With
Isn't
our
it
eyes.
isn't it because light is reflected of those things?
Brilliant. So we're getting into it's optical instead of it's geometric.
No,
Is that how the horizon-
we're discussing how you get to see something, Mitchell.
Refraction, optical effect.
Are you just not capable of just staying on this on the topic, please?
So
No,
pure,
it's geometrically refracted.
pure projection, Phil. Yeah, it's absolutely staying on the subject while you try and get away from it. So I see projection from ballers all the time, and this is a classic case of it. Phil is desperately trying to flail his way away from the fact that he's been asked, specifically, whether or not the horizon's Earth curve. It isn't. We've clarified that. He's told us it moves with the weather. He's asked Mitch why it's moving with the weather. So it's definitely not Earth curve. He just can't concede it. So what does he do? Non sequitur and flail his way away and then tell Mitch that he's doing that. Yeah, right. Pure projection, Phil.
You are talking about refraction. It is an optical effect. How are we having a geometric,
you want
physical,
to just throw all of these things in, Mitchell, but there are
a physical geometric horizon? It is physical in your claim of a globe. Why can we not
Naturally.
see?
Go back to my picture. Go back to the picture.
Where's the physical
Right.
horizon? Is that physical?
The thing that's blocking the you see that we can only see about
Yeah.
half of that rig.
Is it
What's blocking
physical?
it?
Why are you asking what's blocking it when your Earth curve would be at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet? It isn't, in this image or any. So I don't really understand why you're suggesting this, Phil. It can't be at the position below sea level, below surface. It's not possible. Go on, whoever.
I was going to say, I think I know what his problem is, because the Rayleigh criterion arc below surface level in the Earth curve maths is the correlation you draw between information loss between two flat planes. So he thinks that that's obstruction. It's actually just information loss, and he can't get his mind around it. That's why he's asking that.
While you're correct, earlier I criticised Mitch for falling into the trap of making a claim where one's not needed. Now, obviously we're friends here, and no one's going to be criticising you for making that claim or using it against you. But while we do know why things disappear into the distance, hashtag shit shrinks, we don't have to make the claim. I'm not making a claim about why the horizon does anything. It's not proving a flat plane. If I am going to use the horizon, I'll use it to establish a flat place line like Phil did in the earlier diagrams in the pre-show.
But I'm not making a claim. I'm just pointing out the Earth curve calculator, what it's actually claiming and how they're misinterpreting it. I'm not.
I like that.
I didn't come up with it.
No, I like that a lot. So no, okay, fine. So you're not actually incorporating that into just your off-the-cuff flat Earth description of why things disappear into the distance at a point we find dissolution. What was it? Information loss that you said. You're not doing it for the purposes of purely being a big-head flat earther that knows everything about why globers claim that they've got a horizon that blocks things. You're actually pointing out how the differential calculation utilises the point of dissolution in the Rayleigh criterion when calculating the difference between those two flat planes to make the assertion that we've got a horizon below surface level, which is actually just pointing out how the Earth curve maths works as opposed to utilising it to make a positive claim about why the horizon does anything. That's why they're doing it in their maths. Excellent, John. I love that.
Is it physical? Is it an Earth curve?
It's physical.
So what happens here?
How can it be blocking it if it's not physical?
Right, why are you asking him? Your claim is it's physical and it's moved. Hills don't move. Game over. Oh, it's refraction. So not a physical hill then, like he's asked you 6 times. Unlike you, when you ignore the response, his response, Phil's response, hasn't addressed the question. Is it a physical Earth curve? No, it is not. It cannot be. We don't have 2 horizons, one geometric and one refracted. There's only one horizon. It's just not your horizon marked with an X and labelled horizon in your Earth curve maths that's claimed to block things, Phil. We can show it doesn't. And when it does move with the bloody weather, you ask him why it does it. Who cares? It's not Earth curve, mate.
Optical refraction, you just said.
No.
Refraction. It's What are you talking about, Professor Phil? You're meant to be a professor.
Yeah.
Refraction means you are not seeing the physical thing.
No, refraction just means that I'm seeing the thing a bit further away than I normally would.
Normally would? What, on no atmo day? What, when there's no atmosphere, sphere-shaped air, and you're begging the question oxymoron of air in a sphere shape, making all light bend always? So when you would normally see it with a straight line? When's that? When do you see this straight line tangent point geometric horizon? Maybe you should confer with Ruhif. Yeah? How you'd normally see it? Oh, ask Ruhif when he normally sees the geometric horizon. Hey, Rufy, you listening in? Remember now, right? How's that geometric horizon working out for you, buddy? Phil says he normally sees it. Maybe you can get it from him, you utter clown.
It doesn't
So
mean
if
I'm not
you're
looking
seeing
at the physical
if you're
thing.
seeing that something is refracted, can you shoot that thing with a physical bullet? Is it a straight
if
line to
you-
that thing?
Well, no, because that's an
No, so it's not Earth curve. I mean, if I can see the top of a hill, you can be damn sure I can shoot it with a gun. Because physical hills are easy to shoot because they're physical. What's that you say? This hill moves with the weather? Very difficult to shoot. Yeah, it's because it's not Earth curve. It's not getting in the way of anything. It's not a hill. There is no hill Earth curve getting in the way ever.
no, because
No,
where it is an illusion.
Exactly.
The Earth curve is an illusion. Let's hear that again.
Is it a straight
if
line to
you-
that thing?
Well, no, because because
No,
where it is an illusion.
Exactly.
Where it sits is an illusion. Yeah, Earth curve. That's a new one for the list. It's just an illusion.
Optical effect. Thank you so much for
No,
confirming
where
that,
you
Professor
see it.
Phil
But
Bell.
that doesn't mean it's not the thing.
You just said it's not the thing. It is.
The thing is Earth curve. He can't even say it. Can he? How pathetic. Just because it's not the thing, ladies and gentlemen, the thing, in quotes from Phil Bell, is Earth curve. It's marked with an X and labelled horizon in the Begging the Question, Proof of Nothing, Perspective Hijacking Earth Curve Calculator. If you just can't see the thing that we claim blocks, boats and buildings, that's Earth curve, why can't you say it, Phil? Is it that hard to say, just because we can't see Earth curve, doesn't mean we haven't got Earth curve. Right, Phil? The Earth curve thing, right, Phil?
An optical
Nathan,
It
effect.
sounds like Phil is drowning in the paradox, going back and forth. It is the thing. No, it's not the thing. No, it is the thing. It is not the thing. It is the thing. Going back
The
and
thing we
forth
don't
forever.
see is the basis of the thing we do see. The second thing,
No,
the
this is-
horizon thing, the geometric horizon thing with the X marking it as a horizon. It's the second thing, the second horizon that we don't see. It's that thing. It's that Earth curve thing that we don't see. We don't see it then. So it's the thing we don't see. So that thing that you were asked whether or not we see, we don't see that thing. That's Earth curve. Yeah, it took you long enough, you
Nathan.
utter weasel.
Sorry, Nathan, this is a good show. Let me ask you a question. Does their Earth curve math support illusions?
Support what, sorry?
Illusions.
No, they claim there's a physical Earth curve hill marked with an X labelled horizon getting in the way of boats and buildings with a quantified feet and inches value to say how much it's blocked boats and buildings by. Until it moves with the weather. Then when we point out it's moved with the weather, they'll ask us why. I guess it's shit. It's not Earth curve then,
Well-
mate.
Well, if their math based on the radius can't support the illusion, then it's a thought experiment because it never could be seen as below sea level.
Yeah, and when we point that out to them, they affirm. Planner walk. Nobody's expecting to see physical geometry, end quote. Or AB science. We cannot see the geometric horizon, end quote. Or the rumpus. The geometric horizon only exists in the maths, end quote. What's the geometric horizon? It's that thing that Phil couldn't say. It's Earth curve. Only exists in the maths. Nobody's expecting to see Earth curve. You can't see Earth curve. That's the quotes we get back from them.
It is not something that's actually there.
Do you think that it's just some sort of magical apparition? Do you?
Again, projection, Phil. No, you think it's an illusion of your Earth curve that's a second horizon we can't see. The thing that gives you the horizon we do see. So there's a second horizon that we can't see. That's the Earth curve horizon that we can't see, that according to you now is your basis of your non-Earth curve-based refracted, weather-based, non-physical horizon. Okay, Phil, we're all clear what's going on here with your gaggle screw. We can keep up even with your nonsense.
That's what a refracted image is. You have just said that. It is an apparition.
Mitchell,
It is
why
apparent.
do you think?
Yes, he has, and he needs to interrupt when it's pointed back out to him, doesn't he? Coward. Yeah, it's pointed out that you said it was an illusion. It's having it pointed out back to you that needs your interruption, does it, Phil? Utter coward. Losing means you need to be rude, does it, Phil? Chant straight through the devastating conclusion that's being made to you? Maybe you should tell him that we're not getting anywhere while you get absolutely hammered by him. And just chant through it. Maybe chanting through it means you didn't lose, Phil, you total coward. Shout out to Elvis Kvorvik. He says, is there any evidence of an illusion formerly known as Earth curve? Thanks for the super chat.
You can see it.
Because we're looking at it? Because
Well, what does
it's
that mean?
actually...
What does that
Because
mean?
it's actually... Okay,
What
we'll
does
go through
mean
that.
when you're looking-
While he's replying, Phil thinks, what does that mean is needed repeatedly 4 times. Is that right, Phil? You need to chant that through him. It's called chanting. It's what fundy ball believers do when they lose. Chant.
Yeah,
at it.
it's the rumpusing
That is
phase.
actually
Yeah.
physically there.
It's obviously physically there if you.
So it's marked with an X labelled horizon in the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator where it's claimed to be at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet and physical. Here it is on screen, demonstrated not to be the case, and Phil has just said in circle jerk fundy, typical style, yes, it is physical. No, it would be at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, and here it is beyond that. You fuckwit. It's on screen!
You're looking at it.
So looking at it beyond 1.2 times the square root of the geometry claimed Earth curve edge in your maths? No, we're not looking at your geometry, Phil. He's asked if this is the geometry of Earth curve that we're looking at. Obviously not. It's being held up as a black swan.
Welcome to Flat Earth, Professor Phil Bell. I'm going
Exactly.
Shout out Titan Long gives you $5. I think Professor
No,
needs some
what's-
help
what-
from.
what the
Okay,
refract-
No, I need to tell you that I won. Phil, you're a muppet.
don't overtalk when I'm shouting out one of my awesome patrons. Titan Long. I think Professor Phil Bell needs some help from Baldwin. He debate quicker and more intelligently. I agree, Titan Long. Professor Phil Bell, what else do you have to bring to the table? Where is your globe evidence? Because we've absolutely debunked the notion that...
No, you haven't done anything of the sort. All you've done is obfuscate.
When he said that if the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959, then every distance to the horizon could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, and then gave you 2 examples, including a third that you presented, where the horizon was beyond the limitation of a sphere Earth radius 3959, and you now claim that all he did was obfuscate. No, when you talk through him, Phil, it wasn't you not getting the information. It wasn't him not delivering the information. It wasn't an eradication of the information that hammered you. It was you chanting through him so that in your deluded pea brain, you could state now, with some deluded belief of being true, that he obfuscated. No, he didn't, Phil. He concisely ripped your stupid ball belief to pieces. You, on the other hand, told lies that you hadn't got a claim. 93 million mile sun, Phil, is that a claim that you made? Yeah, you fucking liar. You're just a liar. That's all you are, Phil, demonstratable. No claim. I've got a 93 million mile sun. After spending a significant period of time telling a man who made it explicitly clear he had no sun height claim about what his claim was going to be. Because you didn't have one, right, Phil, you lying shit? That's what you got to do to be a globe believer. Lie continuously. Say that your opponent hasn't addressed anything and obfuscated when he's directly addressed the flat earth requirement in every aspect of your claim that you lied about, Phil. So no, he hasn't obfuscated. It's just another lie by you. Or maybe when you chanted through him, you actually thought that that was you responding. Or him not having a conclusion. Because, oh my God, I chanted through it, so he didn't really make it. Yeah? You coward.
Obfuscate. We're talking about a physical geometric curve compared to...
So he needs to interrupt the repetition of the thing that wasn't an obfuscation, the direct address to your Earth curve edge horizon. Maybe if you chant through it while he summarises it for a second time, it will be an obfuscation. Yeah? No, Phil, you're just scum. Lying, globe-believing scum that absolutely requires lies. No, Phil, your obfuscation of his points are what you are now projecting onto him.
What do you mean? You keep saying it is refracted. We're not going to keep going round and round. You keep saying it's optical.
I gave you that physical...
Learning computer.
It gave me that physical, I need to now lie about the horizon that we definitely didn't see and isn't at the denoted marked with an X horizon point in my geometry. I definitely gave you that.
It only takes one black swan to disprove that every white slit is only one swan.
You are...
So do you think chanting through him the third time when he summarises that which was not an obfuscation, that it will still remain an obfuscation as you've claimed, Phil? Is this the only tactic you've got? No, you didn't address any of my points. You obfuscated them all. What's that? You want to repeat the thing that addressed it? No, I'm going to chant through you. I'm 6 years old. If I talk loud enough over you... You total coward, Phil. Is it scary? Is it scary when he summarises that which you've claimed is an obfuscation? Is it scary? You need to talk through him again, do you, Phil? Total coward.
Ignoring the fact that refraction is a thing.
We have gone through what...
Refraction being physical geometry. Refraction isn't physical geometry, therefore he won his argument. We can't see physical geometry, we can't see Earth curve. That was his point. No obfuscation, made his claim, proved it. What a liar. Gotta lie to be a globe believer. That's where you find yourself when we, like Mitch correctly identified, are absolutely in control of this conversation. So after the fact, I can point out where you globe-believing scum have to lie. Even the most badged of you, this professor, has to lie. And then project his ineptitude onto his opponent after his total failure. Obfuscation, you say, Phil? Well, what about if the Earth was a sphere radius 3959, then every distance to horizon could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, as shown in the image still on screen. Is that an obfuscation? No, Phil, definitely not. What, is ignoring refraction when refraction isn't physical geometry as made in the modus tollens claim he laid out to you? Again, not an obfuscation.
Refraction
and
is
not only that, I got you to actually admit that it was refraction.
So not Earth curve geometry then. Not physical hills, but refraction. So you got him to admit that it's not Earth curve, did you, Phil? You're doing so well.
if it's refraction, it's not physical.
Not
you
if-
need
Not if,
it to
Mitchell.
be physical.
So he's summarising the non-obfuscation you claimed he gave you. If it's refracted, it's not physical. Yeah, physical Earth curve, Phil. Yeah? But unfortunately, he didn't seem to quite get to the end of that conclusion that you claimed was an obfuscation because you talked through it. So it seems that you're claiming obfuscation when in fact it's fuckwit interruptions from you. Isn't it, Phil?
Yes.
You need it to be physical to be Earth curvature. We do not have a physical Earth curve horizon in the black swan. That is
Tell him he's obfuscated.
why it's so devastating to you, Professor Phil.
No,
Bell.
Mitchell. You can. It doesn't matter how often you say that. It doesn't work.
But was it not an obfuscation? So it doesn't matter that he said it repeatedly and you claimed he had obfuscated. So that makes you a liar. So you heard it repeatedly then, did you, Phil? Is non-obfuscation that you just lied to your audience about because you're a liar and you need to lie to believe that you're on a ball. You need to lie to make others watching think that they're on a ball. You got to lie to Glurf.
You can
Mitchell,
just keep saying
you
no,
can't
no,
see
no.
something that's not there.
What, like Earth curve? Can't just not see physical geometry of Earth curve if it's not there. Yeah, welcome to flat Earth.
So why are we seeing it? Is it actually there? Because there's no geometric horizon to
The
block it.
light is still coming from that object. It's
Sorry, so we've got two horizons, have we, Phil? We've got a geometric horizon that we don't see that we've got light coming from. How's that geometric horizon working out for you, Phil? You say we can see it. Do you want to show it us? The second horizon that's geometric and a hill that just coincidentally isn't blocking things today because of refraction.
just that where you
Nathan.
see that object.
Nathan.
Mhm.
He just said, how can you see something that's not there? A few minutes ago, he said it was an illusion.
He's asking Mitch how you can see something that isn't there. Well, the thing that isn't there is Earth curve. That's what we're not seeing, Phil. Yeah, we know we can't see it. We're showing you how you can't see it, and you're telling us that we're obfuscating. Yeah, Phil? That's the situation.
Is different. That's all. But
Yeah,
it's still
we're
the
actually
light
seeing
coming
it.
from that object.
Us as flat earthers can see that object because it's coming straight to our eyeballs. Not because it's refracted.
It's not
because
coming
it's coming
straight to you. It's not. It's coming from. It's coming from
so
every
Ben's
curve.
lines. So not a straight distance, not a straight measurement when we're using the horizon. So what's the sextant used for, Professor Phil Bell? Going back to the
find-
sextant.
It's used to find your latitude.
It's used as an angle measuring device. First,
That's one use of it on a flat plane. Right? Angle off a flat plane to Polaris, you mean? Yeah, that would be definitely measuring a flat plane and the elevation angle measurement from you to Polaris. Flat Earth required, Phil.
firstly.
Of course.
So when we're measuring an angle from the horizon that you have just said is a bent line from you to the horizon, we need a flat, straight line. We no longer have that with the sextant.
That's nothing to do with.
Maybe you'll call it an obfuscation later after hand waving it, Phil. No. He's pointing out that you're claiming the line's bent. And yet earlier you told him that you banked on it being straight. Flat. The Earth, that is. As opposed to curving away from us and also having an apologetic for why things aren't where they'd be if we had a hill in the way by saying the lines are always bent. So now he's saying, given that you say the lines must always be bent on your globe Earth to apologise for why the horizon's moved today, how are you getting a straight line for your sextant? And you're saying it's what, not relevant? It's absolutely relevant, Phil. Coward.
How to use the sextant.
We're looking at the horizon. You just said
You look at the horizon, and
Maybe interrupt him pointing out how it's directly relevant to you, you complete coward. You said it's not relevant. He's pointing out it's about the horizon. How could it not be relevant? We're talking about the horizon, your Earth curve, the one we can't see, the horizon that isn't being seen, the one that's claimed to be Earth curve. But moving on, What do we do with the horizon? You've already told us you're banking on it being flat, right, Phil? Yeah, it's definitely relevant. But what we'll do with the horizon isn't assume bent light, isn't assume we've got a horizon that's Earth curve that we can't see, and not assume that we've got bent lines through atmospherics when we establish straight, flat baselines, Phil. It's completely relevant.
You measure the dip angle to the horizon. And the reason that you measure
So you're telling him how relevant it is then?
that is because you actually want a tangent.
We don't want a tangent. So
You want a tangent for your Earth curve, but you haven't got one anymore, Phil Black Swan. We just covered this, didn't we? You need a tangent because that's what Earth curve has. But all lines are bent now, aren't they? So you're never going to get one, are you, Phil? Meanwhile, straight horizontal baselines are required in celestial navigation. That's how the horizon's actually practically applied to establish Earth flat. Not to beg the question of sphere-shaped air and bent lines, because then it wouldn't work with celestial navigation anymore.
a tangent, right? Again,
But you need
claiming-
that to,
if there is a claim of it,
Does every point that Mitchell tries to make get interrupted, Phil? Yeah.
With stuttering.
Stuttering, chanting through the top of every point he makes. Maybe later you can claim he obfuscated away from your points because you chattered through them. Right, Phil? You complete coward.
a tangent, there is a claim of a globe. Where is the claim of the globe, Professor Phil Bell? Going back to your claim.
You need the tangent.
We need the tangent. Hey, Rufy. Hey, Rufy. How's that geometric horizon working out for you, buddy? You're damn right you need it. Black Swan. What's that you say, Phil, only 2 minutes earlier? All lines are bent because of refraction? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Then you can't get a tangent to your Earth curve, can you? So maybe ask Rufy. It's only been a couple of years, hasn't it, buddy? How's that geometric tangent point horizon working out for you there? You need it, do you? Yeah, that's because it's Earth curve, Phil. Yeah, you need the horizon to be a tangent point called Earth curve. It's marked with an X, labelled horizon, in your Earth curve calculator with a tangent to it. And yes, you need that. That'll be Earth curve. The thing, right, Phil? Yeah, you do need it. You haven't got it anymore. Yeah, we haven't got a second horizon. Not refracted, because then it's not a straight line tangent, is it, Phil? You understanding how the problem's folding out? It's only been 3.5 years. Shout out to Unitox Femu, who says, horizon is coming from old Greek word kurvios. Very good.
A tangent asserts a globe.
Okay, you can call it what you like, Mitchell.
I'll call it Earth curve. The tangent point marked with an X labelled horizon, he's just debunked. You said it was, ignoring the claim? No, he definitely debunked it with the Black Swan, and you told him how it weren't there and all lines were bent. Now you're telling him how you need a straight line. Well, where are you going to get it, Phil? Given that the lines are always bent and there's always sphere-shaped air and there's always refraction and there's never a straight line, ever. Well, you've never got Earth curve then, Phil, have you? You've never got a tangent to the geometric tangent point Earth curve hill getting in the way. Ever. You can't. It's game over globe Earth. Meanwhile, although you obfuscated away from Mitch trying to ascertain what we will do with the horizon, you notice how I'm pointing out an example of where you did actually obfuscate, Phil. Rather than you chanting through him not obfuscating and then claiming that he obfuscated, you did actually obfuscate away from the practical application in your example, in your diagram, that you doctored and lied about being Mitch's. That needed a straight flat baseline for the horizon that'll establish it as flat. You obfuscated away from it, you total coward, and then projected your non-stop obfuscation onto Mitch. Because you're a coward with a failing globe belief.
Sure, but what you
That is the definition. What is the definition of a tangent, Professor Phil Bell?
Mitchell, do you know what
Do you know what a man squirming sounds like? It sounds like that. What's a tangent? It's a straight line, Phil. It's a straight line that you haven't got ever. And where does that straight line meet? Oh, Earth curve? That claim to be horizon in your maths. But it's not to the horizon we see. We wouldn't expect to see that horizon, Earth curve, would we, Phil?
You obviously know what a spirit level is.
But you said you need a tangent. You explicitly stated that you will need a tangent. Now he's asking you to define that which you explicitly stated you will need, and you start asking him about spirit levels. What's the word for that? Oh, it's an obfuscation by a projecting, lying ball believer. Right, Phil? Projection much? Obfuscation much? Tangent point, Phil. He's asked you to define it because it's Earth curve at the end of that straight line you haven't got.
What is the definition of a tangent before we go into a spirit level and absolutely confirm the flat Earth?
I'll put it down. I'll do that for you.
A tangent is a line touching to a
hold the
curved
spirit
surface.
level in your hand.
Professor Phil Bell, we're not going to go into some.
Right, Phil, did you need to chant through him definitely not obfuscating and addressing your points head on and proving Earth's flat? Did you need to interrupt that and change the subject? You complete coward. You're a weasel, Phil. It's going to be documented till the ends of time how weaselly you were in life. So in death, we can remember exactly how big a weasel you were. Past tense.
Something before it's been addressed. A tangent
I am addressing it. I'm addressing it, Mitchell. Hold the
With a
spirit
bubble?
level in your hand, and when the bubble is in the middle, that will be the tangent.
Right, when the bubble is in the middle of a sextant, it's a tangent. I'm going to need a citation that states explicitly that when you have a bubble sextant, it produces a tangent. I'm going to go with no. You'll never find a citation that says that a spirit level produces a tangent. Do you know why? Because it doesn't. A spirit level provides you with level, Phil. But according to this globe-believing, lying muppet, a spirit level, you'd think the clue would be in the title, it's not actually for acquiring level. It's a spirit tangent. Did you never hear of it? Obviously, we're all a bit slow on this. In the industry, they call it a spirit tangent. Did you never heard of a spirit tangent? What's your problem? Sorry, Phil, readdressing reality by taking that which establishes level as actually establishing a straight line tangent point to your presupposed hill that's not getting in the way and we can't ever see. So in spite of the fact that we can never see it, you think a spirit level can see it. What? Do spirit levels have the eyes of the oracle? What the hell is this reification fallacy? Spirit levels don't see tangents, Phil. You are thick. Look up what spirit level is defined as. You won't find the word tangent anywhere when defining what a spirit level is.
Hey, a tangent in their context is supposed to be touching something on the Earth, correct?
A tangent in general is a straight line meeting the curve of a spherical or circular surface or shape.
Great. Thank you. Go to Master B and look at the bubble sextant picture.
Okay, got it.
So here it is, a sextant that has a bubble because you're not using the horizon as reference. You're using a horizontal established by the spirit level, and you might be a small plane 10,000 feet, a larger plane 30, 40,000 feet. You're using the spirit level as a horizontal to establish a plane of reference. There's no horizon that being used with the spirit level. It's assuming the Earth is flat.
Well, you, as I say, assume that it would be self-explanatory when you say spirit level. And in this instance, this guy's holding a bubble sextant, i.e. a sextant with a spirit level in it, and establishing a level with the spirit level, as on this diagram here. Really clear, really obvious, makes sense, using a level to establish level in lieu of horizontal from the horizon. So you don't need the horizon with the spirit level because you're already getting level from the level. What's that you say, Phil?
Correct.
It's the spirit tangent. No, Phil. No, this is what you've got to do to be a globe believer. You've got to lie. You've got to tell people that spirit levels establish tangents. That's just a lie by a globe believer, Phil. An outright, overt, mistruth lie by you to an audience. Because that's how you'll be remembered, Phil, as a liar. Yeah? After you're dead, you'll just be remembered as a liar.
Can I slam dunk, Phil, please? Spirit level, bubble sextant, you don't do dip correction. But when you use the horizon with the Mariner sextant, you must subtract your height of eye, where you have the sextant aimed at the horizon when you bring the sun or star down, to sea level. That's why there's no dip required if your eyes are at sea level either.
Good point.
So,
to bring us back on track.
It's over.
So what is attempting to do is establish tangent points with spirit levels, even though the whole point of using a spirit level, if you're establishing a horizontal plane of reference with the level, your level giving you your level. Shocking, isn't it? Well, he's saying, no, actually, tangent points acquired from the non-needing to do dip correction, because that's where he led in. Dip correction. Well, no, you're negating dip correction when you use spirit level. So, yeah. Again, you've got to lie to be a globe believer. So, yet another lie from Phil. So, when doing dip correction with a level, you don't need to, Phil. Ignorance or lies? I'm going to go with lies. Based on the amount of lies he's told so far, we can only assume that one does as they do. The beast does as it thinks makes itself successful. And in this instance, lying continuously and projecting one's own lies onto one's opponent is how Phil does this. That's his MO.
So that's going to line up with the horizon? The bubble level is always going to line up with the horizon?
It won't line up with the horizon because the horizon is dipped below that. That's why you have a dip angle.
So we've got two.
Another lie. So you don't have a dip angle when you use the bubble, Phil. I've just pointed that out, and as did 10th Man first, preemptively, before I would have obviously got there as well. You don't need to do dip correction, so it's a complete non sequitur. Well, we'll just call it another lie from Phil. So when utilising a bubble, you're going to account for the fact that the horizon's dipping away from you? No, you're only using the bubble because you don't want to be using the horizon. For whatever reason. So no, Phil, definitely not. I mean, they might use it above the cloud line in a plane when they establish the angle to the star to figure out their position along a flat baseline that they'll establish with the bubble when they can't even see the horizon, Phil. So it's done to negate the need to have a horizon. But you're saying when you use the bubble, there's a dip to the horizon. Who gives a fuck? You lying, scummy old ball-believing liar.
Two parallel planes then. Using the bubble level, we've got a parallel plane above the surface of the parallel Earth. Two parallel flat planes.
The spirit level that you're holding in your hand, that spirit level is giving you the tangent that you're looking for.
No.
We heard your baseless assertion the first time, Phil. Then we all laughed at you.
No, the tangent is a straight line to the edge of a curved surface. That's not what a spirit level is doing.
What do you think a spirit level is doing?
Sorry, who cares? You claimed it was ascertaining you a tangent point. Black Swan. If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959, then every tangent point could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And the claimed to be tangent point of a sphere Earth in the Black Swan is beyond the limitations of a tangent point on a sphere Earth radius 3959. Do you notice how I changed Earth curve or geometric horizon into tangent point, Phil? It's because they're all the same thing. You haven't got a tangent point. That's his argument that you are, what's the word, obfuscating away from, Phil, you projecting asshole.
The spirit level is giving us a horizontal flat plane. And obviously,
that's all we want.
Horizontal flat plane. Brilliant. And we've got a horizontal flat plane beneath our feet.
All we want is the horizontal, yes.
That's right. So no tangent points dipping below surface level to imaginary horizons that we can't see and aren't blocking things because of the weather. Yeah. Earth curve has been undone, debunked, killed, shot in the face, buried, and is now being pissed on.
So the tangent isn't...
Nathan,
yes.
Nathan. A minute ago he said Earth curve is an illusion, and now he says all we want is a horizontal.
Yeah. Cognitive dissonance is a bitch if you're a baller and you're having to fight with us. because you're having to concede left, right, and centre how Earth's flat. How all we need is the horizontal. Oh, so we don't need anything beyond the assertion of horizontal by way of a spirit level to establish a horizontal plane of reference to navigate the Earth with. Because it will be parallel with the Earth. Same as if you establish the horizontal plane of reference with the horizon. Shocking, innit? Yeah? Well, that's not going to be providing you with a dip tangent point when you've got bent lines to everything always. Because you haven't got a straight line. And the tangent point exists below surface level in your maths, and according to you, it's an illusion, and according to all the other people who have the black swan put to them, they tell us that we wouldn't expect to see the Earth curve horizon. That it only exists in maths. It's because we haven't got Earth curve as a horizon. Earth's not curving. If it did, we'd have a hill in the way, exactly as you claim. And later deny and call illusion.
Going to where the bubble level is pointing. The tangent is a straight line to the curved surface of something like the Earth here, something that is not attainable. We have a bent line if you're claiming refraction. This is going round and round in circles. John Furr gives me 20 Canadian dollars to say, thank you, Phil. Every alleged globe proof leads to the flat Earth. Absolutely.
I'm not talking about the water, Mitchell, okay?
What are you talking? You just said the horizon is the water.
Line. How do you get a horizontal? How do you know that it's horizontal? Look at the bubble in the middle of your spirit level, right?
Absolutely. Horizontal.
How do you know that it's level? The clue's in the title. How could it be level when it's a tangent bubble, right? Phil, is that your logic? It couldn't be possibly level because this is a spirit tangent. My God.
Is defined by
now. All right. Now, from that point to the object in the sky, that's the angle you're interested in.
What, from the point on a flat baseline to the object in the sky? Yeah, that's proving Earth's flat, Phil.
Brilliant. So we don't even need the horizon?
No, you actually don't need a horizon.
Just need level.
Can you just put that into a sentence so we can trim it out, Professor Phil Bell? You don't need the horizon. We can to attain an angle of elevation to a celestial body.
You heard me.
No, just please, just you. Sorry, I'll let you talk.
I'll put that in your comments.
I'd like you to say it right now.
You don't need an horizon.
For what?
Sometimes have you ever
that horizon would be Earth curve. That we established earlier. You were apprehensive about saying that, which is Earth curve. Yet we don't need that Earth curve, do we, Phil? It's not needed. What we do need is to establish a horizontal plane of reference so we can navigate it. That'd be Earth, flat, horizontal. That's right. That's what we do need. And you said you were banking on it being that way earlier with Mitch. That's right. All we need is a flat Earth, Phil. Because what we don't need is that Earth curve horizon. Because we can't see it. It only exists in the maths. You can't measure it. Your lines are always bent to it. You haven't got a tangent. So we don't need that. We just need what you were banking on earlier, Phil. The flat Earth is all we need.
Nathan?
Yes.
In the bubble sextant, there is no horizon mirror because you got the spirit level. And in the mariner's sextant, you do have a horizon mirror, and you are using the horizon to establish what the spirit level gives you without one. So if they work the same way, where's Earth curve?
There isn't any. We don't need that.
ever sailed or anything like that? Sometimes you can't see the horizon.
Okay. Now, sometimes we can't ever, Phil, see Earth curve. That horizon's never visible. It used to be back in the day, blocking boats and buildings and stuff, and we were told quite firmly that we were idiots for not understanding why bottom-up obstruction occurred due to hills that are called Earth curve getting in the way of boats and stuff. But we don't need that when we're doing navigation, though, do we, Phil? We just need a horizontal plane of reference.
You still have to try and figure out where you are.
And what
with a flat Earth
can we use when we don't see the horizon?
You can use a mirror. You can use a you can use a spirit level if you want, Or you,
Something
you,
like a bubble
you
sextant.
you can use a bubble sextant is pretty good.
You can
How
use
about
a bubble
pool of mercury?
a bubble sextant that will give you level, or you can use a spirit level. What was that? Say again, QE.
No, tangent shooting spirit level.
Yeah, in his mind, that's probably what he thinks he's saying.
Well, there's the other artificial horizon, which is when you're landlocked, you can't see the sea horizon, okay, and it's cloudy. You use a artificial horizon, which is a container with liquid mercury or something viscous that doesn't move with the wind, and then you put a surrounding container around it, and it must be perfectly flat, and you use that.
Also, you can use an artificial horizon, any of the two. So how do we use the artificial horizon?
So you don't need to have the horizon out there. That if you don't
Brilliant.
have it.
Talk us through it. Talk us through it. How do we use the sextant with an artificial horizon? How do we use the sextant with something like a bubble level?
Well, the bubble level tells you what the so hold the sextant in your hand so that the bubble level is right in the center, so that you know that it's horizontal, and then measure your angle to the star or whatever.
If you know it's horizontal, where's the tangent?
Yeah, and how are you going to use that bubble on an open ocean on a rocking boat? Good luck with that.
Well, if it's horizontal, and according to them, their assertion in geometric terms is that you're on a sphere with the ground falling away from you at 8 inches per mile squared. Therefore, in order to see the physical geometric sphere edge obstruction, either you can model it with you leaning back on your ankles, or you can depict it as they claim, which is you standing straight up at the top of the sphere Earth, looking down at the dip of the horizon. Well, he's just told Mitch that you use the bubble to establish horizontal. Okay, yeah, with respect to the ground, it's parallel with the ground. The baseline that you're establishing with that level is parallel with the ground positions of the stars that you're measuring on the ground below. If it's obviously falling away, what's the use of establishing a horizontal with a bubble if all the ground positions are moving away at 8 inches per mile squared? They're not. You can establish level because it's parallel with the ground. Go ahead.
Nathan, it's a concession. It's a concession to flat Earth because the spirit level isn't accounting for 8 inches per mile square or curved surfaces. It's a horizontal. It's a flat baseline. And then the eye-line horizon, sensible horizon, where the navigator has the sextant, and the sea surface, that's a depression angle. And so dip is really height of eye correction, and you bring your eyeball to the level of the water, and you match what the spirit level did up in the airplane without using the horizon. So telling that sea surface is flat all the way to GP to star, just like the spirit level, and the plane's telling you the same thing with the spirit level.
Yeah, but Nathan's question was right on point. Then why do you need a tangent?
Correct.
Why do you need a tangent once you establish horizontal with your level? He's right. Nathan got him. Why do you need a tangent then, Phil? You retard. Double speaking idiot.
You've decided to shoot to.
That's exactly how we use the bubble level and exactly how we prove that the Earth is absolutely flat beneath our
But you
feet.
haven't.
Parallel plane.
How did that prove that the Earth's about?
Is asking him how it's proving Earth's flat through the top of the conclusion about how it's flat in any way perhaps an obfuscation, Phil? Also a coward move where you got to chant through the conclusion that proves you wrong? Total coward.
And he stuttered through him as well. On top of that.
How does that prove? How does that prove it's flat? He was telling you, Phil, before he started chanting and stuttering and stammering through the top of him like an abject coward.
Well, all it did was prove that you were holding the sextant up.
But did you want to tell him what it was proving right through the top of the conclusion of what it was proving? Did you there, stuttery Phil?
Horizontally, that's all.
So you just say
We'll go back
all
to the
it proved
images.
is
Nothing
you're
else.
holding.
Yeah, I think we should listen to that again.
Plane.
How did that prove that the Earth's about? Well, all it did was prove that you were holding the sextant up horizontally. That's all.
yeah, because when you're doing celestial navigation, really, you only give a crap about your position holding the sextant and whether or not you're horizontal with respect to vertical. Because that's all that's important, your position. It's got nothing to do with the line that you're trying to establish between you and the base position below a star that you're shooting. Nah, it's got nothing to do with it. It's just about you holding it level, isn't it, Phil? Why would you need to hold it level? Oh, to establish a horizontal plane of reference that's not a tangent, that's not a ball, that couldn't be a ball and wouldn't work if it was. Is that why I hold it? No, it's just so it's level. No, it's just so you are actually holding it level. Yes, so it's creating a baseline, Phil. That's the point. You're shooting a star with a stupid idiot.
Nathan, don't say 90.
Well, he's inferring that it's just your point being level where you hold the sextant. No, Phil, you're holding it level so that you've got 90 to the base of the star. And then that line runs between you and it. Level. Yeah, like you establish with the tool to establish level with a bubble in this instance. That's why you do it, Phil. So you've got 90 at the base of the star, so your maths is right. So you can not die at sea if you're lost. Very important that you establish a flat Earth with the spirit level, Phil. Of course, you chanted through the top of Mitch stating that. Maybe it's because he obfuscated your points, you total coward.
Also, right angle triangle. If you go back to the Amelia Earhart slide showing the bubble sextant, the star in question would have to be directly over the Earth somewhere, and that creates a right angle triangle, which they deny.
We'll go back to the images.
Nothing else.
Go back to these images. I don't have it right here. We'll go back to the images that I had before that when we're using this sextant with the horizon, remember those images that we had up before that you put on screen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So when we're actually accounting for dip angle correction, we're putting that onto a flat geometric plane. And if
you've got that upside down, buddy.
And if we're using something like a bubble level, something like an apparent horizon that doesn't need a dip angle correction, we are measuring a parallel flat geometric plane above the geometric plane of the Earth. Sacred No Ledge, aka Universe says, can we see the original Black Swan image? Yep, I'll put that up very shortly. Sleeping Warrior says, Professor, refraction accounts for 1/10 of a mile in your model. It does not account for, where's that gone? It does not account for the distance evidenced. Please explain why. Yeah, we probably don't need to go there, but thank you for explaining how above a level, how a artificial horizon is used.
Bloody hell, Anthony. Even when you're not here, you're begging the question for them. So if we assume Earth's a sphere and we have got radial value, and that radial value does transpose into 7/6 of a radius, then you've only got a little bit of refraction. Wring his neck, even with his super chats. Bloody Anthony. Got to beg the question with him, haven't you, Anthony?
To measure a geometric flat plane.
Hey, do you like it being directed towards Anthony rather than you, 10th man?
Sorry, I was doing research on something else. I missed that whole segment.
I was telling Sleeping Warrior off.
Spirit level.
I was telling... Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I said, what was he doing research on? The tangent shooting spirit level.
No, something else that's more detrimental to the ballers.
Plane above, parallel to the geometric flat plane that we have here on Earth, Professor Phil Bell. Is there anything else you'd like to bring to the table? Any globe proof?
Well, I think we've probably said about as much as I want to today.
So you couldn't prove a globe for him then, Phil? Even a professor can't prove the globe. All he does is continually affirm a flat Earth.
But if you want, we can do it again. You know, when
we can prove a flat Earth all over again, Mitch.
Even more time.
10th man says exactly. The bubble trap sprung again. No dip correction needed. We're going to go over this with 10th man.
You don't need a dip correction.
Notice that Phil's now chanting through 10th man's comment that we addressed here. Is that an obfuscation number 5, Phil? Where you need to chant through the fact that you've asserted that there's a tangent being ascertained through a bubble sextant, and yet there's no dip needed, as pointed out by 10th Man. That needs your interruption, does it, Phil? Maybe if you interrupt that point, it's like it never happened, right, Phil? You total coward. It's what you'll be remembered as, Phil, a coward liar. Past tense, remembered like when you're dead.
And when you've got a bubble level.
Exactly. It's okay. I know you don't realise at the moment. We're going to go over this with 10th Man.
No.
Next week.
So I'd love to actually talk to 10th Man.
5,000.
Would you? Maybe you could just address the fact that you asserted that the bubble tangent was going to somehow infer that there's a dipping away horizon on a ball. Yeah, 10th Man just pointed out via a chat that you interrupted, because you're a coward, that there is no dip when you're doing it with a bubble. He pointed out on this show too. It's just that you felt the need to interrupt it when it was highlighted to you by Mitch. Coward.
Dollars to get 10th Man onto your stream. That is the going rate for all us flat earthers at the moment. We are no longer going to be making any. We're no longer going to be making money for anyone that is going to overtalk us. That anyone who's going to not take us seriously. We are professional educators right here, right now. I've let you into my stream, Professor Phil Bell. I am a professional educator. I am actually a registered homeschool educator. So I am a professional educator.
Well, makes both of us then.
So what did you educate anybody on today, Phil? Did you educate us on the tangent bubble? No, you didn't, Phil. No, in name only. Maybe at one time before you lost your marbles, you might have been capable of educating people, but that's not the case anymore. You know, you're long past your prime. Definitely not capable of educating anybody. You demonstrated that here today. You are incapable of educating anybody on anything. You didn't educate anybody on anything. And when given the opportunity, the conclusion was you've got nothing else to give other than your fallacious reasoning, your obfuscation, your lies. You think that was educating people, do you, Phil? No. Let me be the first to tell you that that's long gone in your lifetime, Phil. You will never educate anybody ever again. You have nothing to educate people on in this respect. Nothing at all.
Fantastic. Thank you for acknowledging that I am a professional educator. Professor Phil Bell, have you got any...
Well, no, you would... To be a professional educator in New South Wales, you'd have to be a member. You'd have to join the New South Wales Institute.
He'd have to educate people as a profession. People have just paid him and he's educated them.
Teaching.
NESA? Something you're registered to?
You know the Institute of Teaching of New South Wales?
NESA, N-E-S-A. NESA is what I'm registered to be a professional educator for a homeschool.
So this is a glorified ad hominem attack. That's all this is.
Yeah,
Teacher.
and it was refuted. Well done, Mitchell.
Yeah.
No, actually, Phil Bell was the educated us quite well, I thought. He said that Earth curve is an illusion, and you need a horizontal to get a angle measurement with a sextant proving flat Earth. I thought he did a great job.
You can take that inference, but in reality, from Phil's position, he's there to educate people on why Earth's a sphere. He declared how he's banking on Earth being flat, but Earth's a sphere. A contradiction in terms after example. Well, that's not his objective. So therefore, you can't say he's achieved his objective in educational terms. Even though, yeah, he may have educated us by us pointing out that he's utilising a flat plane repeatedly. But if that's not his overall objective, if you're running a Christian group and everybody leaves a Muslim, would you say jobs are good 'un?
No, that's not what I was referring to. You remember now the term is all roads lead to flat Earth, and that's what he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, okay, so
thank you,
that doesn't
Professor
make
Phil
you a
Bell.
professional teacher, okay?
You just said it made two.
Sorry, does that offend you, Phil? That he classifies himself as a teacher, professional in nature, when he's being paid to educate people? I classify this channel as educational. Will you take umbrage with that also? When I disseminate the information to someone who doesn't know it already, that has literally educated them in that information. There is nothing wrong with that. But the problem for Phil, let's just give him his full title, Professor Phil Bell, is that he used to have some credence ascribed to what he said based purely on his title. Now, what Mitch is doing is undermining that. After humiliating him and demonstrating how poorly he's done in terms of his aspirations of educating people in their bald faith, which he didn't do. Now he's like, no, I take umbrage to you calling yourself an educator, having educated me, because I have a title. Oh, really, Phil? I will acknowledge that title when you actually disseminate something that you intended to educate people with, because you didn't do that here, and you've never done that in my experience ever. So while you might think you're an educator, because in some long period of way back when, somebody idiotic qualified you as a teacher. I mean, that was a long time ago now, wasn't it, Phil? Now there's a new bunch of newer, younger people who will and do and can call themselves educators when they disseminate the truth of things like celestial navigation, with old, dusty, crusty, lying bastard ballers talking through them, who want to call themselves educators because of some dusty old title they had years gone by. Well, don't delude yourself, you crinkly old cunt. You're not an educator anymore.
Two of us, but anyway, getting back to your globe proof, Professor Phil Bell.
Just being facetious, okay?
I know you are. Professor Phil Bell, you
Your self-admitted facetious nature, right, Phil? Yeah? Yeah, that's what you have now.
said you had globe proof. Just give us one.
Okay, so I did give you one.
Globe
No, you didn't. More lies. Got to lie to Glurf. What was it, the tangent bubble?
proof? What was it?
Yeah, I gave you one. I told you that ships go over the horizon.
No, what, over the 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height feet tangent bubble horizon that is always bent? No, Phil, he addressed that. And you hand-waved him and told him that he obfuscated by way of projection because of your constant interruptions of those points that maybe you didn't hear because you were interrupting him when you obfuscated his points that you didn't acknowledge. You're a poor student. Let's just get it clear just before you do. He's a poor student. That's what Phil is now. He's been reduced to a crap student. That's what he actually is now. Go ahead.
Phil's number one globe proof. Ships go over the horizon.
Oh, it's worse than that. It's worse than that, Kiwi. He said that the horizon was an illusion. So ships go over an illusion.
Yeah, there you go.
The geometric Earth curve edge that was debunked by the Black Swan. Is there anything else that you're going to...
We've been through all of that already.
I know.
I showed that you were wrong.
No, it was devastating. It was devastating that you...
I actually got you to agree that it was refraction.
So not a tangent point then, Phil? You got him to concede the devastating loss of your claim, didn't you, Phil? You got him to say it's refraction. So not geometric Earth curve mark the next labelled horizon in the begging the question, proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Yeah, he reiterated that he won that point by just saying two words. Black Swan.
And in doing so, we no longer have a physical geometric Earth curve horizon.
Maybe interrupt it again, Phil, you utter coward. Is this you being a good educator or a crap student?
That's just nonsense. That's
just nonsense. Would that be a hand wave dismissal fallacy much? Just nonsense? No, it's your begging the question, proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator claim that the horizon is the leading edge of a sphere marked with an X labelled horizon at 1.2 times the square root of the Earth horizon's distance in feet. No, observer's height in feet. I got there in the end. And he's shown you in the Black Swan that it isn't. Just nonsense? Or just you hand-waving that which you obfuscated, Phil? The latter.
I know that's not where you wanted to go, but that's exactly where you go when you say
Mitchell,
refraction.
What is, Mitchell, in the picture that I showed you, which is the same location, same elevation, what is blocking the...
So, burden of proof reversal fallacy. Attempt number 4. What's blocking it then? You said it was Earth curve, it's in your maths. It isn't. Well, then you must tell me what it is. Yeah, we get that a lot, Phil, as flat earthers. We debunk the stupid notions of a sphere Earth, and then we get demanded to tell you what it is. Now, while there was a very subtle and very clever use of how the Earth curve, begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator uses the point of dissolution where you will lose information at the horizon to claim that there's a horizon we can't see below surface level. That was also detailed here by John. But there's no need for us to make a claim about it, Phil. We aren't claiming the horizon's Earth curve. And where there was a claim about the horizon, you took the diagram it was being made with, redid the diagram to make a new point about parallel lines, and then strawmanned your opponent with it. You see how we can keep up with every single aspect of your lies and deceit, Phil? Really easily, when you hand wave every single thing that happened here in this discussion. We can still summarise your lies, Phil. It's really easy. Because we're not old and losing track of time and things that happened only moments earlier. Like you claiming that you're banking on Earth being flat. Things like that. We remember, Phil.
The rig.
Nothing.
What's the
It's
stuff?
all optical. If it's refraction
There's
in
nothing
any
blocking
instance,
it.
nothing's
What's
blocking
blocking
it.
the rig?
What's blocking it? Nothing.
Hey.
So not Earth curve then. Go on.
Hey, Nathan. Yeah, there's two photos. His photo that he keeps in his dossier that he keeps running around for the past 3 years, right in Discord. That's his photo. You could post both of them. Go over them real quick.
Yeah. I'd love you to go over the latter because he presented a similar picture and claimed it was a white swan and that what we were seeing blocking platform habitat, the oil rig, was Earth curve. My immediate response, no, the horizon Earth curve, geometric in nature, with a tangent point that we can't have because it's all bent, would be at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, and that is not the distance in the right-hand image, or his image that he presented. This is also a black swan.
Yes, sir.
Phil presented
the
something
next-
that didn't show physical geometry and said that it did. Another lie. Got a lie to Glurf. Yeah.
The
he
next
actually
one.
Go on. Sorry.
The next one.
Yep. Got it up. Yeah. Baltards. Guess what this is? Question mark. It's another black swan. See this? This is your claim of a physical geometric sphere edge at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, you say? This with lots of arrows pointing it. How far away is the horizon? Yeah, this is not 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. This is another black swan. So while he was trying to hold Mitchell to task on this being Earth curve, no, it's another black swan. It's another demonstration that the horizon's not a hill getting in the way at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, where the physical limitations would lie if Earth was a sphere. It's another demonstration of how the horizons move with the weather, beyond where it should be. Thanks. Perfect. I'm glad you backed that up because I didn't have anything to hand when I said it.
Why can't you see half of the rig?
Why can you see all the rig in other instances? Because nothing is blocking it. It is all optical.
Right. So this is refraction.
Right.
Right. So not Earth curve, not a geometric limitation, not a hill getting in the way then. Welcome to flat Earth.
Right.
You said yourself.
It's all optical.
The conditions change. So therefore, in some conditions, you can see the horizon further away.
That'd be Earth curve. Sometimes you can see the hill further away. Sometimes you can see Earth curve further away. The hill, further away. Sometimes the hill that blocks your view of the houses beyond is further away, says Phil. Sometimes hills get further away, right, Phil? That's your conclusion, is it, Mr. Educator?
Way, as if you climbed a hill. And in some conditions, you can't because the water is blocking.
So it's like you climb a hill and sometimes you can't because the water is blocking. Was there a coherent sentence structure somewhere in our midst, Phil? Because as far as my example goes, you're climbing up a hill and there's houses beyond the hill. And you're saying you climb up the hill and sometimes you can't because sometimes the water's beyond it. That makes no sense, Phil. But houses not being beyond a hill that's blocking them, that's what you're claiming happens with your Earth curve. That suddenly isn't a horizon that blocks things. Suddenly it's moved. Suddenly the hill's beyond where it was supposed to be and we said would block boats and buildings. What do you know? The weather. Not Earth curve.
The horizon is blocking the rig. That's why you can't see it. That's a
Optically
physical
blocking.
thing.
It's a physical thing now. So you said absolutely it is an optical blockage, and then you said it.
So it's a physical marked with an X labelled horizon with a tangent point to it, is it, Phil? No, Phil, you told us the lines were always bent, so how could it be a straight line tangent point? Is it no Atmo day on your sphere? Yeah, not bent lines always. It's now your tangent point physical horizon again, is it, Phil? Just going to keep going around in these circles, are you, Mr. Cognitive Dissonance Educator?
it's a physical blockage.
Wasn't it an illusion before?
Yes. He's also said it's an illusion.
It's water that's doing the blocking.
The physical water or the refracted
would you agree
water?
that it's water that's doing the blocking?
Man, this is a far cry from the positive claim of Earth curve blocks it. Really? You think you'd be really positive about this?
Did you hear him say, is it the physical water or the refracted water?
Yeah, I admit.
Is it the physical water or the apparent water?
It's physical water, you know, because you won't be able to see something that's...
When it's refracted, is it still physical?
You need an object to see it.
When it's refracted, is it still physical?
Of course.
The cognitive pain is strong with this one. All right, we've been going for 20 minutes over what I usually go for. Professor Phil Bell, thank you for coming in. I may open it up to people to join my stream next week, but for now, I'm going to end the stream because we've been going 20 minutes over. Thank you, Professor Phil Bell, for coming in. If you feel like the Earth turns on you, turn to Flat Earth School. It is around us 24/7 since the beginning of existence. I've been Mitchell from Australia. He's been the globe defender who has failed miserably, who has confirmed the black swan is an optical effect. No geometric horizon ever seen. If you like my work, if you like to support my work, the links are in the description below. PayPal, Patreon, you can purchase my wife's book, anything you'd like to do. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Yes, 10th Man, he admitted that you need a horizontal plane to achieve an angle with the bubble level. It is brilliant. We're going to be talking about this next week with 10th Man. It is going to be an entire week just full of sextant proofs. Until next time, go out and experience your Flat Earth School. It is the best teacher we could ever hope for. Thanks for sticking around, guys.
So there's a link going by right now. Let Mitchell from Australia know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Leave him a positive comment. Let him know how well he did. To be fair, there was literally only one criticism of everything that Mitch did in that. I'm pretty sure if I was doing that, there'd be a lot more than one criticism. So I'm going to give him top marks for that. That was ace. Really well done, Mitch. Handled him beautifully. Okay.
I want to see that tangent shooting spirit level. That's what I want to see.
Definitely. But with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels for making the live show possible. Thank you to you for smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a member, gifting memberships, hitting me up on PayPal, and all that good stuff. Obviously, another massive thank you to Mitchell for providing all the material today. Let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, and I will see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!